Before we get into our live mailbag, hey, round of applause to you guys. We hit 29,000 subs. We did it for Tariq Cohen. Congrats to him. He's got a baby on the way, so that was a big announcement. Did it for you, Tariq. But 30K is around the corner. Big milestone here on YouTube if you reach 30,000 subscribers. So help us get there. We'll keep plugging out daily videos around the Bears for you guys. Hit that big red button and subscribe today. Kick off today's mailbag with a super chat with Paul Dow. Sup, Harrison? What's up, Paul? Hope vacay was good. It was great. Now I'm back and refreshed. Let's get into it. What is one stat on both offense and defense that improves from last year to this year? I think the run game will be more consistent. We saw that down the stretch last year. The Bears kind of figured something out with their O-line. I think that group will be even better this year. If Sam Mustipher is at least solid at center, I love Whitehair and Daniels at guard. Ifedi is at least passable at right tackle. Then if Tevin Jenkins works out at left tackle, you're feeling good about that. I think Montgomery is going to have a big year. Defensively, kind of similar. I think if Eddie Goldman comes back after the year off and is at least 75-80% of himself, the run defense will be much better. At times, that was a problem last year. They really missed Eddie Goldman. So kind of running the ball, stopping the run, a little more consistent in 2021. Braden Hislope, hashtag Bears. Any news on Dazz Newsome's collarbone injury? Last we heard is he was on track to be ready for training camp. It's kind of right at that 8-week mark when he got hurt in rookie minicamp. So if he's not ready for week 1 of camp, probably week 2. I wouldn't worry too much. Obviously, you want as many reps as possible for all of your rookies, especially one that could compete for playing time at wide receiver. L2 Cloud, what should the Bears do in the 2022 draft? Chris Olave. Well, teaser, if you're watching live, we're going to take a look at some potential Allen Robinson replacements for 2022 if he leaves Chicago. Maybe Olave's on that list. He's probably going to go round 1, though, so you're going to have to get a first-round pick somehow. Do you trade Khalil Mack? Do you tag and trade Allen Robinson? Bears have some guys that can move to get a first-round pick. They just have to see where they're at with the salary cap and make some decisions. But Olave with Fields would be a lot of fun. Jimmy Poser, who will be better, Fields or Zach Wilson? This is a good question, Jimmy. I think right away you'd have to lean Wilson because he's actually going to play, right? I don't think Fields is going to start week 1, but I do think long-term and potentially even this season, Fields is in a better situation. He's got a true number 1 wide receiver in Allen Robinson. He's got 2 decent tight ends in Cole Kmet and Jimmy Graham. The Jets have a bunch of interesting young pieces, but not a lot of proven talent on the outside. I don't think the Bears' O-line is great, but I think it's decent. I think it's better than it was last year. And Chicago can really run the football with David Montgomery, and I think that will be better this year as well. So I like how Fields shapes up. I think he's exactly the type of quarterback Matt Nagy has been looking for. So I think I would lean him, at least for now. But obviously Wilson will get an opportunity sooner, especially right away. Who will have the better career, though? Type JF for Justin Fields, type ZW for Zach Wilson. It's funny because the Jets and the Bears are probably the 2 teams who have had the worst quarterback play in the last 40 years in the NFL. So which team will get the better quarterback here? JF for Fields, ZW for Zach Wilson. We're going to make this the pinned comment on today's video, so go ahead and scroll on down and answer right there. Caden Shoemaker, I love Justin Fields, and I don't know if I'm going to get hated on for this, but I'm an Ohio State fan and a Bears fan. Bear down, love the channel. Bear down, Caden. Hey, there's been a lot of Ohio State / Bears fans who have been psyched about Fields in Chicago. It's exciting. It's real. And if you're as excited as I am, I bought myself a jersey. Actually, the bosses bought it. Thank you, producer Brett. Hey, you can get one too. Chatsports.com/Fields1. We got the navy available. We got the orange ones as well. I got the orange. We got the jerseys as well, the T-shirt jerseys, especially for you guys on a lower budget. I think these are less than $40 right now. Chatsports.com/Fields1. That link is in the comments. It's in the description. You can get all kinds of Justin Fields shirts and jerseys and some workout hoodies at that link. So go ahead and click and shop today. K down here, consistent quarterback play, offense top 15, defense top 5. Sweet, I'm down. You've got it all figured out. I mean, that's like the ultimate ceiling, right? Like everything falls into place. The O-line is much improved. Montgomery has a huge year, and whether it's Dalton or Fields, it's just no turnover type of quarterback play, right? think of it this way. If the offense is steady and solid, the defense is going to be better. Because last year, the defensive numbers went down because the offense went 3 and out so often. They kept turning the ball over. They couldn't stay on the field. So it all works together. It's no secret how to be a good football team. Tyler Nipper with another super chat. Appreciate you guys. Robert Quinn trade if Charles Snowden and Jeremiah Tachu ball out. You can't trade Quinn. His contract's untradeable, so you just got to hope he plays well this year. I think Snowden's a UDFA sleeper to make the roster. I wouldn't say Jeremiah Tachu is going to ball out, though. He's never really been that guy, kind of more of a rotational player, but I think he could have some value as a rotational guy. But you're not trading Robert Quinn. He's basically untradeable. Bincy, #Bears. If Justin doesn't start, would you say Darnell is the most hyped Bear going into 2021? So outside of Fields, who's the most hyped guy? There's a lot of Darnell Mooney hype. There's no doubt about that. Maybe for me, not as much publicly, but I'm fired up for Jalen Johnson. I think he can be an elite cornerback in this league. We saw flashes last year. He's fully healthy now with the shoulder. But yeah, I think on social media and all that, I would probably agree with that. Darnell Mooney is getting a ton of hype, and honestly, rightfully so. He played really well last year, and a better quarterback will really help him take off. Joel Fernandez, can we re-sign A-Rob next season since we were unable to in this year's free agency? Yeah, you can. The question is, will you? The report that came out of 670 The Score in Chicago from Chris Emma, he says they offered $16 million per year. That's not going to be anywhere close to what Allen Robinson's going to get next offseason, because on the tag alone, he'll make over 20. So if you're going to bring him back, it's going to have to be like 22 plus now. Apparently, he would have taken 20 per year, which is what I pushed for all along. So you can. The question is, are you willing to do it? They weren't this year. Will that change? Maybe. We'll have to wait and see. Penny's next up. Can the Bears O-line finish top 10? That seems ambitious. If everyone's healthy and Jenkins is a legit left tackle, is it possible? Perhaps, but the following would have to happen. Sam Mustipher is a legitimate starting center, not just a stopgap guy. Tevin Jenkins is an above-average left tackle at least. Whitehair and Daniel stay healthy at guard, and they play really well. And Ifedi's not a disaster. If all those things happen, then sure, this could be a top 10 offensive line. How about top 20? Could you push for top 15? Maybe. I think that's more realistic. Who's going to win the NFC North this year? Get your votes in. Type CHI for the Bears. Type DET for the Lions. We know that's not happening. Sorry, Don Burr. Type GB for the Packers. Type MIN for the Minnesota Vikings. How about answer it this way? Aaron Rodgers is not with the Packers. So get your votes in with that caveat right there. If he is with the Packers, then I think it's going to be Green Bay. But get your votes in. Bears, Packers, Lions, Vikings. Who will win the NFC North this season? Marquise Robertson, my producer's laughing at this one. Harrison, do you see the Bears trying to make it to the Super Bowl or trying to get Deshaun Watson? Let me take a sip here real quick. You're not getting Deshaun because you just drafted Justin Fields and he has 22 civil cases against him, so that's not going to happen. You're always trying to get to the Super Bowl. Every team is. Teams don't tank in the NFL, at least not like from week 1 and beyond. So, I mean, yes, they're trying to. Do I think they will this year? No, and there's less than 0 chance that they get Deshaun Watson. DeVay Dolly, besides Allen Robinson and Darnell Mooney, who's the number 3 receiver? That's the $64,000 question, right? I think it's like one of 4 dudes. We've got the depth chart that we can show you. Anthony Miller, I think he'll get the first crack. He's had that role the last couple of years, but he's vulnerable. Damiere Byrd, Marquise Goodwin, 2 speedsters that you brought in. Both vets. Byrd played last year. Goodwin didn't. Dazz Newsome, rookie, broke his collarbone. Didn't help his cause. Should be ready for camp, though. Ridley and Wims, I mean, they're the ultimate long shots. I don't think that's very likely, but you got 3, 4, 5 guys that'll have a chance, and Nagy has preached competition heading into camp this year. Subscribe. Bears Now. We're closing in on 30,000 subscribers. Share that link below with a friend, and hey, let's continue to grow this channel together. By the way, the season's almost here, which means watch parties. We're going to have a lot of fun and go live for just about every single game during the regular season. Hit that big red subscribe button. Share that link with a friend for daily Chicago Bears coverage. Joseph Ruiz, do you think that the Bears should draft Drake London. I like Drake London. I think he's probably a round 1 guy out of USC. Maybe he slides because there's just too many receivers. I think he's like 6'5", 220, big physical player. I like him quite a bit. If you lose Allen Robinson, he's definitely a player that I would have some interest in. Jeremiah Pantojas, let me know if I'm pronouncing that right. Do you think David Montgomery gets over 15 touchdowns this year? Combined rushing and receiving, that's probably a little high. I think he had 10 last year, but if the offense is better, you got the extra game too. I think that's something we all have to remember when projecting these things. 15 is probably like the ceiling. I think he's more in that like 12 range though. Like 9, 10 rushing, a couple receiving. 15, that means he's had an excellent season. Thanks for the super chat. Joel Fernandez, Roquan Smith is the best linebacker in the NFL. Agreed. He's in the conversation, but he's not the best. I mean, Levante David is still spectacular. Bobby Wagner is fantastic. I think we're all overhyping Devin White a little bit because of how great he was in the Super Bowl. Actually wasn't that great during the regular season last year, but he's at least in the mix after that playoff run. I think he's top 5. And hey, that's pretty darn good for a guy who's only played 3 NFL seasons.